Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopichanavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Yashodananda Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Gopinath Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha, Nilmadhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, both Kavya and Riva. Very nice. And again, welcome everyone to this Friday evening Bhagavad Gita discourse by Vaman Kshetra devotees. We're going to continue our study of Bhagavad Gita. The shloka today is chapter 4 and the shloka number 3. So let's start with that one. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'll just recite the shloka, and if anyone of you want to recite as well, please let me know. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto asime sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto asime sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. Anyone of you wants to recite the shloka?
स एवायं मया तेद्य योगप्रोक्ता पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं हि एतदुत्तमम्.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So let's go through the word-by-word translation and also the translation in the purport by Srila Prabhupada. So word by word, first of all, Sah, the same, Eva, certainly, I am this, Maya, by me, Te, unto you, Adya, today, Yoga, the science of yoga, Proktaha, spoken, Puratanaha, very old, Bhaktaha, devotee, Asi, you are, Me, my, Sakha, friend, Cha, also, Iti, therefore, Rahasyam, mystery, He, certainly, Etat, this, Uttamam, transcendental. Translation: that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. There are two classes of men, namely the devotee and the demon. The Lord selected Arjuna as a recipient of this great science, owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for the demon, it's not possible to understand this great mysterious science. There are a number of editions of this great book of knowledge. Some of them have commentaries by the devotees, and some of them have commentaries by the demons. Commentation by the devotees is real, whereas that of the demons is useless. Arjuna accepts Sri Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and any commentary on the Gita following in the footsteps of Arjuna is real devotional service to the cause of this great science. The demonic, however, do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna's instructions. Here is a warning about such misleading paths. One should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Let's do the Mangala Charan first of all. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnanajana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhpadkamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sujivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavadebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pisthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajnavaya Namaha Pankajmaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangrahe Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining, and let's now study this verse, which is fourth chapter, third verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Sa evayam maya tedya yoktah Yoga Prokta Puratanaha Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti Rahasyam Hetaduttamam. So we have gone through the translation. So it says that the very ancient science of this relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Therefore, you can understand the transcendental mystery of the science. So in this verse now, Krishna, if you remember, the first shloka of this chapter, which is 4.1, it says, Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavahan Abhayam Vivasvan Manve Praha Munir Ikshvaku Avavid. So basically, Krishna is saying that I told this study to Vivasvan, which is sun god. And the age of sun is like millions of years. Now, as a mundane knowledge that we have, we can always be confused that Krishna is here and he's saying, oh, I told this something which is, Krishna appeared in this, we are talking about this Bhagavad Gita about 5,000 years ago. And we may say, oh, hang on, Krishna is here 5,000 years ago and he's saying he told this thing to sun god, say, this many million years ago. It doesn't actually fit in the the time frame. So in this one, actually, Krishna uses a very nice word, which is called rahasya. If you see this, the second last word of the second line is called rahasya. So rahasya is mystery. So this is kind of a mystery, which if we have a mystery, for example, we have a secret or we have a mystery, the only way or only person we are going to tell that mystery to will be the most faithful, most surrendered, most dear to us. We are not going to tell that mystery to everyone in open. So Krishna chose Arjuna because he knew that Arjuna is the greatest of the devotees. So this is very important verse actually to understand Bhagavad Gita. So it's this, the whole thing Krishna says is a mystery, is a rahasya. So only a devotee who actually has kind of intimate relationship with Krishna, he can understand this one. So that's why Krishna actually speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And also, as we know, that he is talking to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So if you think about it, battlefield is a very serious, when we are in the battlefield, that means some serious problem has come. So it's a very serious matter. So if Krishna is telling Arjuna in the battlefield, which is already a serious place to be in, that means the matter he is going to discuss is definitely very serious and very mysterious and very rahasyamay. So Krishna actually chose that place because that what he's going to tell Arjuna actually suits that place, better than anything else. So very serious. That's why he chose that battlefield. Now the Krishna actually also selected Arjuna. Now Arjuna is the best devotee, and he's also a surrendered soul to Krishna. So that's why, and also a good friend of Krishna also, as we know. So at that time, actually, if you think about it, the timeline. So Krishna was there, and that time lot of learned scholars were there. So we know about, when we read Bhagavad Gita, there are a lot of sadhus and rishis names come in, like Asita or Devala. Some rishi munis names are there. And also, if we know, don't forget that Vyasadeva was also from the same time. As we know that Vyasadeva came, he is the father of Dhritarashtra and both Pandu as well. And so he was the one who gave like divine eyesight to Sanjay to actually, so that he can actually tell Dhritarashtra sitting in far away from the battlefield. He could actually tell the whole story to Dhritarashtra. So he got that eyesight from Vyasadeva. So that means Vyasadeva was also there at that time. And then Krishna actually selected out of all, he could actually select anyone of these. He said, okay, this is Raj Rishi, or this is a nice saintly person. So I could actually pick up any of these, but he actually picked up Arjuna because, and also actually, if you look at the previous verse, I think it also mentions Raj Rishi Vidhu. So Raj Rishi is actually he's talking about Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was also there. Bhima was there. So a lot of learned scholar people were there, but actually Krishna selected. So Krishna selected Arjuna only so that he can actually impart this knowledge to him, because he knew that he is the most devoted and most surrendered person on the battlefield that day. So if you look at the previous verse, it says, Evam param para praptim imam rajarisho viduhu. So Rajrishi was there. So Rajrishi is also like Yudhishthira Maharaj is also a Rajrishi. So why he selected Arjuna? Now that is the question. So as we know that Arjuna was he wasn't a Brahmin, like he was a Kshatriya. So his primary duty was to fight. So he was like not Brahmana who's doing the Veda part all the time. So his primary duty was to fight, and he was in the battlefield to fight. So a military man, actually, the person who is in the army or in military, his primary focus is to fight and save the people who actually follow Vedas. So not himself become a sannyasi or something. He can, but his first primary duty is to actually become a military man and save everyone else. All these, all the other Brahmanas and Shudras and Kshatriyas, the other people there. The community as a whole. So he is not he's a military man. So Krishna actually picked up Arjuna, although he's a military man, but he is going to tell him something which he should know from the Vedas. So he is going to tell him the Vedic knowledge as well, because if we know that Krishna is the Vedas himself. So, and it's a mysterious matter, as Krishna mentioned in this verse. So he says, Naham Prakashah Sarvasya Yoga Maya Samavrita. So he, in one of the verses in Bhagavad Gita, I think in 7th chapter, he says, I cannot be exposed to anyone. And Krishna's potency is actually always covered by, a potency is there, but we can't see, because our eyes and our knowledge, everything is covered by the Yoga Maya. So we can't see Krishna's full potency. So Krishna cannot be exposed to anyone unnecessarily. So Krishna exposes himself to anyone only when he is merciful towards that person. And the only way to get the mercy is to become the devotee of the Krishna, surrender to him. So there are people like, we as Prabhupada, different lectures in different places, he mentioned that there are people who says, oh, Krishna is, he's fictitious, or he is not a human. He's a normal human being. He's maybe he's a historical person. Or some people may say, oh, there's no Krishna, it's just imaginary book writing. Someone wrote Bhagavad Gita and Krishna is not there. So there are different kind of people. And actually, Prabhupada, whenever Prabhupada talk about these kind of people, he said these people are fools and rascals. So that's what Prabhupada always say. So these type of people, they actually cannot understand Krishna. Now, unless one is bona fide devotee and ultimately actually related with Krishna, he or she or whosoever the person is, they cannot actually understand Krishna on this one. So we can actually, we can just, there's one story I think I told before as well, a small story. So unless we are connected to Krishna, Krishna is there always. So he has a form, and that's why we have Arch Vigraha at home. We serve the Arch Vigraha, we go to temple, Shri Radha Gopinath is there. We try to serve as much as we can nicely. So there was a person who actually had, Krishna at his home. He was worshipping Krishna. And as we all do, we always want something from Krishna. We say, oh, Krishna, I want this, I want this, I want this. Obviously, Krishna is not there to fulfill our material. He fulfills our material desires only to some extent. Whatever he thinks is required and for our survival. And if we ask him, like, give us this, this is, Krishna says, okay, look, this is not useful for you, so I'm not giving it to you. This is useful for you, I'll give it to you. So Krishna selects the things which are best for us. Now, this person actually got Krishna at home, and he was nicely serving and also asking Krishna, give me this, I want this, I want this. And his things, like his whatever he wanted, did not fulfill. So he thought, there was something wrong. I think I'm worshipping a wrong personality of Godhead. So he said, Krishna, no, one of the friends like us, we went to, why are you worshipping Krishna? Let's do something else. Let's you worship Lord Shiva. So he started worshipping Lord Shiva, and then nothing happened. So he said, oh, no, you should actually worship maybe Kali Devi, So he started worshipping Kali Devi. So he kept changing the God, basically, the whom he wanted to serve, not Krishna. So what he did actually, he picked up Krishna's, murti and put it in a shelf far away from his temple, and put Lord Shiva there, and then removed Lord Shiva, put Kali Devi there, removed Kali Devi, put something else. So he just kept doing it. In one day, like he was offering incense and also offering bhoga to the deities. And he thought, this Krishna on the shelf there, up there, he did not fulfill any of mine, whatever I wanted, he never fulfilled my desires. So he should not smell this incense, and he should not smell the nice bhoga I have made for him. So what he did is he said, oh, I should actually cover Krishna's nose, so that he could not smell that incense and the bhoga, coming out of my altar. So what he did, he actually went to the shelf, picked up Krishna to actually, cover his face. And as soon as he picked up Krishna's deity, Krishna held his hand. He said, and the person was very surprised. He said, all these years, long years, many, like 15, 20, 30 years, I kept serving you, and you never reacted. You never came and asked me or hold my hand like this. Why all of a sudden you are holding my hand? And Krishna says, all those years, you were just thinking I'm a deity. This is the first time you thought Oh, Krishna can smell. Krishna can, smell the nice fragrance of the bhoga. Krishna can smell nice fragrance of incense. So this is the first time you had that feeling that Krishna is not not a statue or just a deity. He is live. So he is just like he's the supreme personality of Godhead. So the first time he got kind of a bhav that Krishna is with him. So that's why, so whenever we have that bhav, then only Krishna actually responds. So as Prabhupada mentioned there many times, like, people who are there, they may say, oh, there's no Krishna, he's imaginary. Obviously, they have the deities at home, keep serving those deities nicely or not nicely, whatever. But they will never get kind of, attachment to Krishna because they are still thinking it's just a deity. We go to Radha Gopinath and then we pray to him there. When you think, oh, he is listening to you, then he will listen. When you say, oh, it's just a ritual for me to go to the temple, it will just become a ritual, and even Krishna knows, okay, you are doing a ritual or you're just loving him by heart. So the best thing that we can do is actually to become a devotee. So first of all, the first thing we need to do is to actually become a devotee of Krishna, surrender to him. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam janati bhavanyashchatmi tatvatah. So Krishna says tatvatah. That word is very important in 18th chapter. It's one of the shlokas Krishna says. So tatvatah, he says, in reality, Krishna can be only understood through devotion and services. So we offer service, we offer devotion to Krishna, and that's the only way that we can actually understand Krishna. So it starts with bhakti, and then it comes to surrender. And the more we surrender towards Krishna, the more we associated with him. So there are different things by which we can actually progress in our devotion. So as we know that Prahlad Maharaj actually, he in his prayers, he actually gave us a Navadha Bhakti. So he said, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Iti Pumsan Prita Vishnu, Bhakti Chen Navlakshana. So Navlakshana, 9 Lakshana of the Bhakti. So Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. So create Bhagavad Adha Tan Manne Dhitam Uttamam. So Prahlad Maharaj, when he gave all these 9 processes of bhakti, the first one is Shravanam. So if we want to progress in devotion, the first one and the very important one is Shravanam, listening. That's what we are all doing here today. So we are all listening. Whether I'm speaking or you're speaking, but we are all listening. We are all together here. Someone is speaking, someone of us is speaking, like, the kids were doing the Jai Radha Madhava before. So we were listening. So someone of us can speak, someone of us can listen, but we are all Shravanam. So we are all listening. So when we listen and keep listening to Krishna's glories, Krishna's pastimes, the devotion automatically kicks in. And once the devotion comes in, then the love for Krishna actually develops. So, and I think there's an example of we can see the Shravanam actually in many of the books has been mentioned. The Shravanam, the hearing sense that we have is the most is the longest serving sense that we have. So when we are in the womb of our mother, the first sense the baby develops is hearing. And then when we are close to leaving this body, the last sense which leaves us is our hearing. So sometimes, people in coma, on the deathbed, but the doctor comes say, okay, look, this person is coma, is on the ventilator, is almost going, but he's still listening you. Whatever you're saying, this person listens. That's why sometimes, we have seen that people go to the hospitals, to those, people who are very close to being leaving the body, and they chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam shlokas next to that person, because that person, whichever state that person is, whether he is conscious or not conscious, but he can actually hear whatever we tell that person. And in the beginning of the life, when we are in the womb of our mother, the Shravanam is the first hearing, sense that we develop. So we can see that example from Mahabharata itself, when Abhimanyu was there. in his mother's womb, Uttara's womb, and not Uttara's. Yeah, that's right. Subhadra's womb. So when Subhadra actually asked Arjuna, said, can you tell me how to break the Chakravyuh? So Arjuna said, no, it's none of your business. You just stay at home. Battlefield things you don't need to know. She said, no, I want to know. So he started telling Subhadra that, okay, look, this is how the Chakravyuh is made of, and this is how you break it. This is what you do. And at that time, because she was pregnant with Abhimanyu, he could listen, and Arjuna explained everything. And then when he went to the second phase of it, he went to the phase where, okay, this is how you break into the Chakravyuh, and this is how you come out of the Chakravyuh. So when he explained the first part to going in the Chakravyuh, she was still woke up and listening very interestingly. And then he started explaining how to come out, and she slept. So Abhimanyu could hear only half of it. That's why the thing is, like, hearing is so important, and so it is first sense that we develop, and it goes on for a long time. So Abhimanyu knew how to go into Chakravyuh, but he did not know how to come out. That's why he told that day when he got killed, he told Yudhishthira Maharaj that, okay, look, I can go in there, you all come with me and help me coming out. But somehow they could not. We all know about it, and he got killed by Kauravas. But the question here is that Shravanam we were talking about. So this statement, what Prahlad Maharaj said is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padam Spad Sevanam. So this statement of Prahlad Maharaj is the start of the bhakti process. So the first one is Shravanam. Now, if someone wants to become a bhakta, then the first thing he has to do is start listening to Prabhupada's lectures. There's a lot of lectures on the YouTube now. You can see, Prabhupada's lectures there. Guru Maharaj's lectures there. So you just open the YouTube. It's full of information, and we have a lot of WhatsApp groups these days. Every day there's some story comes in. Some lectures come in, and we can actually hear those lectures. So this is the beginning of bhakti. So it's called Shruti. So the Veda also are called Shruti. So Vedas, the second name of the Veda is called Shruti. So Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi. So there are two things. One is called Shruti, one is Smriti. So if one does not actually follow this principle, the Vedic principle, which is Smriti, the Vedic, so Smriti means the literature which is written according to the Vedic principles. So the literature is called Smriti, and then we actually, when we hear that literature, is called Shruti. So Shruti and Smriti, these two things are correlated to each other. So Bhakta Shruti Grihitaya. So it says in one of the shlokas in Bhagavatam, I think it's there. It's actually Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, and 12th shloka. It says Bhaktya Shrut Grahitaya. So it means that through the Vedic literature. So bhakti can only be received through Vedic literature. Now, there are three kinds of departmental studies for the Vedas. If you want to study the Vedas, there are three actually components of Vedas. So we can actually see how actually the whole thing is formed, and also how they help in progressing in the devotional service. So the first thing is which Prabhupada actually mentioned in one of his lectures as well. It's called Sambandha. So Sambandha means the relationship, as we know, Sambandha. So it's a Hindi word, Sambandha, relationship. So first thing is we need to actually understand what is our relationship with Krishna. So when it says Janmadi Asya Yatah, Bhagavatam says Janmadi Asya Yatah. So absolute truth is that from which everyone is generated. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna said, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, Matah Sarvam, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, Matah Sarvam Pravartate, Iti Matva Bhajante Mam, Buddha Bhava Samandit. So Krishna, we need to understand that everything is coming out of him. So he says everything comes out of me and emanates from me. So I'm coming out of Krishna. Everyone here actually, even the any species, birds, animals, aquatics, everything is coming out of Krishna's. So we all have Krishna's part and parcel. We are his part and parcel. So We are all coming from that supreme absolute truth, which is Krishna. And he also said in one of the shlokas, says, Mame vanshu jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So his everything comes out of me. So all these living entities, a lot of examples actually, Sarva Yonishu Konteshu we also have. Sarva Yonishu Konteya Sambhavanti Murtyoyaha. So he said, all these yonis that we can see or we can imagine, even, scientists may say, oh, look, I know these many species, but there are some always unknown species, not maybe in this planet, somewhere else. So they all come out of Krishna's absolute powers, absolute, because he is the absolute truth. So now, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. So he is saying, and also in one of the shlokas, Krishna also says, Aham Bij Prada Pita, right? So he said, I am your father, and I am the Bij Prada. So I am actually the seed-giving father. So we know actually, the father actually is when he gives a seed to the mother, then only the material, any creation in this material world actually comes out to existence. So Krishna, if we look at this one, so this we always say this nature, for example, the nature is we always say mother nature, we always say mother nature. So this nature is our mother, and Krishna is our father. When Krishna gives so we are coming out of the nature because she is our mother, and Krishna is the Bij Pradapita. So he is the Bij Pradapita. He is giving the seed for our existence. So whatever we are doing or whatever we are actually is all Krishna's mercy on us. So there are actually 4 types of janma, kind of, how we take birth. For example, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita has mentioned that there are 4 different types of birth. So types of birth. So one is called like, for example, Andaja. Andaja means that one's coming out of egg, Anda. And there's another one called Svedaja, which is precipitation. So like, there's an example given as insects, for example, the bugs, any bed bugs, for example, because they are coming out of dirty, unclean, and nasty conditions. So they are called Svedaja. So the first one is Svedaja, and second one then is Udbija. Udbija is the one which is created with embryos, like human beings or some other animals as well. And the fourth one is Jarayuja, which is Jarayuja is embryo, which us and human beings and other living entities. And there's another one is called Ubdijija, which is seeds, for example, the trees and the plants and the vegetables and the fruits, they all come out of seeds. So there are 4 types of different lives. Not every life is coming from the similar source. They're all coming from the different sources that's been mentioned there. So Svedaja, Udbija, Jarayuja, and Andaja. So these 4 are the types which are the kind of principle for the creation of this material world. So with the gradual evolution that we are coming out of this human life, so we are in this human life. So it's a gradual evolution process that's been followed for the generations and generations and generations. So there's a chance actually for us to know what is God and why I am here and what is my relationship with Him. That is called Sambandha Jnana. So that is the Sambandha. So we should actually. That's why the human life actually is the best in that way, because this is the only life when we are inquisitive. We can think, okay, look, we can ask ourselves questions, and then we can get help from the other devotees, and eventually think, oh, hang on, these devotees are all praying Krishna, they are devotees. I think I should also join them. And then I also started worshipping Krishna along with other devotees and slowly become a Krishna Bhakta. So this is a sambandha. So sambandha with the devotees and devotees sambandha with Krishna. So this is called sambandha jnana. So this is the first one, which is sambandha. After the sambandha, now then it comes to the execution of the duties. Like the sambandha we have, so, right? We can understand. We can have another example. For example, there's a unmarried girl and there's an unmarried boy, for example. For what happened, the first thing happens is the sambandha. So father, their parents, both sides, like girls' parents and boys' parents, they start to find the suitable match for their child, and then then it becomes try to create the relationship. So that is the sambandha. So trying to build the sambandha, and then what happens? And then the father and mother, they all like maybe the other family members as well, and the society in whole as well. So they slowly actually try to build the relationship, and then there is a kind of a function between that husband and wife. That's called abhidheya. So abhidheya is what is the purpose of that sambandha. So that's the purpose of that marriage, is to actually keep the society rolling, because that's Krishna's arrangement, that the society must be the previous generation should go back to Krishna's abode if they are good devotees. If not, then come back here again, go into the 8.4 million species, somehow or the other, and just go into this cycle. But the new generations has to come in, older generations has to go on and give way to the new generations. And then the third one is called prayojana. So prayojana is like, every relationship is made and every action done with the aim and the goal. So what is the goal of that sambandha? What is the goal? So, and that is to be studied in the kind of human form of life. So the goal of this life is to just go to watch movies, go to do wrong things, go to the pub every Friday evening, or go to the Bhagavad Gita class every Friday evening. So that we have to decide what kind of goal we're going to follow. If we are here to study Bhagavad Gita and associate with each other and talk about Krishna and his pastimes, that means we are on the path of devotion. So it's all, we have our brain which actually guides us. It always gives us two kind of options, like whether we should go to this direction or go to that direction. Then brain, human psychology is that it always tends to divert you to the wrong first and then the right later on, and then you go to the wrong and you realize, hang on, that this is wrong, that was right. So we have to actually then how do we decide which path is wrong, which is right, so that the only way to get it actually is to have association of the devotees. When okay, you have devotees who are already doing it and going to the right path, that tells you that, okay, look, these many people, they are nice devotees, they are following this path, I should actually follow them. Whether it's wrong or right, that's fine, but at least these devotees are devotees of Krishna, and I should actually follow them as well. So this is kind of decision that we have to make as a human being. So Krishna is so we have to study all these things, considering the human form of life. We are in the human form of life. We are very lucky actually to be in the human form of life, because if we are animals, dog, cat, horse, whatever, you cannot chant. You cannot go to temple. You can sit outside temple if you are a divine soul. Even if you sit outside the temple as a dog, someone will come and kick you out from there. You can't sit there. So we are very fortunate that we are actually in the human form of life, and we should make sure that the purpose of this life is achieved, which is to achieve Krishna's devotion. So there are, as I said, there are three of them: sambandha, abhidheya, and prayojana. So we have to think, what is my relation to Krishna? What is Krishna, and who am I, and how I can actually I should act in this relationship, and what is the aim of my life? So that is the question we should ask ourselves. So the aim of the life is very simple. Prabhupada said the aim of our life should only and only be, how should I go back to Godhead, back to Krishna. So that is the only aim we should actually work towards as an individual and as a society as well, a society of devotees. So we are all actually fallen in this material condition of life. We are all suffering, but we don't know. Sometimes, sometimes we don't accept that we are suffering. It's very common with the, all the Prabhujis mainly. I know when I met Atul Gopal Prabhuji. He had a severe back pain. I said, Prabhuji, you have pain? He said, no, I'm fine, Prabhu. And next day he was at the physiotherapist because he had pain. So Mataji, forced him to go to the physiotherapist. So we don't accept that we have problem. So that's the we are in this material condition. We are suffering, but we don't know, or we don't want to accept that we are suffering. The day we accept that we are suffering, the treatment is there. So in Bhagavad Gita, as we know, it says Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, Dukha Doshanudarshanam. So we have Janma, we have Mrityu, we have Jara, we have Vyadhi. So when we can understand that this process of repeated birth, death, old age, and disease, we don't want this one, and we want to come out of it, because no one wants to die. Everyone wants to say, okay, this is not in your control. But once you are aware of your life, no one wants to die. You say, I want to enjoy, I want to live forever here. But if you think about it, great people like I always give an example before as well. Dashrath Maharaj, he was Lord Ram's father. So you can see, if our son is Lord Ram, then I will be very worry free. I say, oh, my son is Ram. I'm not going to die because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. But no, he still has to die, because this is the principle of this material world. One who has come in has to definitely leave the body. He has to go. Now, where we go is our choice. How we built it is our choice. And we sometimes say, oh, this is my problem. And another funny thing is that everyone knows that we have to die one day. No one accepts it. When Yaksha asked this question to Yudhishthira Maharaj, he said, what's the irony of this word? He said the biggest irony is that everyone see everyone else dying, but he says, I'm not going to die, I'm going to survive. So this is the biggest illusion of this word. Everyone is illusioned in this one, and irony of this word is that everyone knows the fact. There is a say in Hindi. It says, when there's a cat and there's a pigeon. When cat is going to attack the pigeon actually closes eyes. He thinks, by closing my eyes, the cat's gone. No, cat is still there. He's still going to hunt the pigeon, kill him. But the pigeon thinks, oh, I'm closing my eyes, no problem, I'm safe. So this is what we are. We know there's an end to the life, but we are closing our eyes deliberately. So then what happens? Will the death come? Or no, not come? It will still come. So it's forced onto us, whether we want it or not. So that's why we always say, oh, it's my problem, I don't want to die, but it will come when the time is there. So it is a problem, actually. So we can say, oh no, it's not a problem, but it is a problem. So I do not want to die. Death is, as sure as anything else. So it will, when the time comes, it will also come. So nobody is careful, actually, of us. We are like, I'm not talking about the devotees, but in general, people are not careful on how to solve this problem. And we are actually fortunate enough that we had Srila Prabhupada with us, who wrote such a nice commentary on all these nice books, Bhagavad Gita as it is. He presented the same Bhagavad Gita which is spoken by Krishna, and he is then translated it nicely, word by word. We can learn every single word. This is such a hard job he did, and then he wrote such a nice purport also. So we, as devotees, as followers of Krishna, we to some extent know how to solve this problem, is to actually worship Krishna, serve him nicely as much as we can, and we know the way. But if you look at the outside world, people don't know how to do it. So that's why the devotees go outside, do Sankirtana, Nagar Sankirtana, do Bhagavad Gita classes, distribute prasadam. So many things we do just to make sure people start thinking about this problem, which is a imminent problem, which will come at some stage. So we have now, sometimes we say, oh, look, I have this problem, but this is, in life, I have this problem, we always count our problems, but those problems are temporary in nature. Today is the problem. Tomorrow you will find a solution of this one. Krishna will give you knowledge to find that solution, and then you can move on. That problem will be gone. Some new problem will be coming. So But the real problem actually here is how to stop death, how to stop birth, how to stop old age, and how to stop disease. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So this is a real problem. And so Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well, when he was talking to, I think then couple of shlokas ahead of this one, fourth chapter, I think seventh shloka or something. Yeah, he says yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat. So he says glanihi. Glanihi means when it's distorted. Distorted means it's broken into pieces. It's very awful situation. When it's very awful, when it's full with glani, then Krishna says, I come and I deliver you. So dharmasya glani. So whenever the dharma glani of the dharma happens, Krishna comes. So what we should do actually is we should actually see that we should realize that our life is distorted, is full of problems. But what we do actually is we always distinguish ourselves as different religions. We say, oh, this is my religion, I'm a Hindu. This person is Muslim religion, this person is Christian religion, Sikh religion, Buddhism, whatever. So we distributed into so many false religions. But actual religion is actually to follow Krishna. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita also says, Sarva dharman paritajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshishami ma shucha. So he said ma shucha, don't worry, absolutely don't worry about it. So what you have to do is leave everything. Sarva dharman paritajya. It doesn't mean that you leave your Hindu religion or Sikh religion. Religion means that whatever you're doing, just leave that, keep doing it because I told you to do it. Your karma is you have to do definitely because I told you to do your karma. If we are grahastha, we have to do our duty towards our parents, our wife, our spouse, and kids, and society in general. But then we have to what then Krishna is saying is that you leave those, whatever you do to other people or to your life, you leave the consequences and the cause to me. So let me handle it. So I'll give you the energy actually to leave the result of that karma to me. And then what happens? Sarva dharman paritajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. You come to me. You come to my sharana. And then once you come to my sharana, and then what happens? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. So mokshishami. So any papas that we do, Krishna give that a wave, a moksha. Sometimes we call the electricity company, can you waive this late fee for me, this penalties for me? I was late because I was overseas. We have different excuses to get that kind of discount on our electricity bill or other bills. So Krishna says, when you leave the dharma that you're doing to me and surrender unto me, then I will, any papa you have done in the past, I'll just exempt them and give you moksha. And there's no doubt about it. So Krishna is making a strong statement there. There's no that he is going to that only thing we have to do is to surrender unto him. So sarva dharman paritajya. Anything we do, we surrender unto him. Say, okay, Krishna, you asked me to do this one. Now you handle this one. So when we have that kind of attitude in us, where we dedicate all our actions and the reactions to Krishna, that is what Krishna wants. Then we can become the pure devotee. Now, in Krishna's, if we read Bhagavad Gita, so religion actually doesn't mean, as I said, it doesn't mean this religion, that religion. It means that the codes or the law of a law which is given by the Lord Himself. We are living in a society. We're living in Australia, in New South Wales. So when we live in Australia, we have to live by the federal rules. So whatever the rules are there, you have to file your tax return in time, do this. In the state as well, we have to follow certain New South Wales rules as well. You have to drive like this speed must be there. You must have a valid license, valid car. You must pay your council rates. So there are certain rules and regulations created. So all these laws are actually there to actually govern the human society materially. But there are laws which actually Krishna has made. So those actually, those are the laws that we have to follow. Just like we have similarly, those, if we follow those laws which Krishna has made, then we cannot go wrong. So, sometimes we may have a thought of doing something wrong. Then if we say, oh, hang on, Krishna says in this one, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, so I should not do something wrong, first of all. Secondly, whatever I do, I should actually tell Krishna, okay, Krishna, this is for you, I've cooked, for example, I cooked bhoga for Krishna. I don't know whether it's properly cooked. It's not, whether it's tasty or not, whether the salt and the sugar levels are okay or not. But only feeling I have is, okay, Krishna, this is for you. Whatever is there is for you. You just accept it. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. So Krishna accepts it, and that is my duty up to there. And then after that one, it's up to Krishna to decide the result of that, whether it's good or nice. You must have seen this one. I mean, this is a practical thing I've seen many times. We cook in the temple multiple times. You can see they cook for 400, 500,000 people at Janmashtami. So many people. We cook in our hall programs all the time, home programs all the time. I've never seen a single instance when the bhoga is not tasted. And everyone knows that we don't taste it till we offer to the Lord. And I haven't seen that we actually add sugar in this one or salt in this one. Very, very rare they may be. But if the cook is like me, maybe there's a chance. But I haven't seen any kind of shortfalls in that bhoga which is cooked for Krishna, whether you taste it or not. So this is the kind of strength and the power which comes from Krishna's mercy and also Krishna's guidance. So we should be actually devoting ourselves to Krishna. And easiest way, and Prabhupada has given us the easiest way to follow that path, basically. And how to follow that path is to actually follow those 4 regulatory principles, chant 16 rounds, eat prasadam, go to temple, prasadam, go to all programs, home programs, prasadam, everywhere. So Prabhupada always said, distribute prasadam, give to as many as people as you can, and then what happens is that automatically it comes to a stage when when our heart is actually wants to actually, I remember in the earlier days when I started chanting, 1 round chanting was like, too much. 1 round, 15 minutes, and my mind was everywhere. But then slowly, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 16 rounds. Now, actually, when I don't do 16 rounds, it looks like something is missing. That's why in our Shastra it says, we have to always keep chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we also say, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, gatiranatya. So the question is, that's why I say 3 times, Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalo nasteva, gatiranatya. So when we say something once, that means it's just, okay, that's fine, followed or not followed, don't worry about it. When we say something twice, then I say, oh, hang on, this thing seems quite like, seems some sort of seriousness in there. When we say something 3 times, that means it's definitely serious. So that's why it says, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam. So we have to actually japa Harika Nam, Harika Nam, Harika Nam all the time. Why? Because there's no other way to Kalu Nastev. Kali ka nash karne ke liye, and to destroy Kali, there's no other way apart from Krishna's name. And I'll just end up with this quick story. So we sometimes think, Krishna is not listening. As I mentioned in the previous story as well, we say, I'm praying too much, but Krishna is not listening. There was there was a beggar actually. But he used to sing very nice bhajan. So he went to a very rich person's home, and at the doorstep he started singing Krishna's glories, nice bhajan. The inside the palace, it was a very rich person's home. So the rich person's home, his wife was there, and she heard that nice bhajan, and she went into the kitchen, put some food into the plate, and came out. So before coming out of the door, she just stood like, a couple of some steps behind the door and just stood there. And the rich man came. He said, this person is singing their Krishna's glories for last 15 minutes. and you are not giving him anything. Rather, you have the plate in hand, but why are you not going out and give to him? And she said very nice. She said, look, if I give to him, he will go away. And he's such a nice, devotee of the Lord. His bhajans are so melodious. I want to listen to it more and more and more. And I want him to stay there and just keep singing. So this is the same situation with us. We are singing there. We think Krishna is not listening, but Krishna is there with full of plate, all the food and everything, all these things for us. But he is thinking, look, this devotee is, he's chanting my name so nicely. I want to just hear the chanting. I want to hear him chanting. Just keep chanting. So keep chanting. Krishna is hearing us, but he is there with the plate. When the time comes, we'll come out with the plate. But he is there to, he's enjoying our chanting. So our devotion, our, bhakti towards him. So there's no doubt about it. I think it's 8:26. I think I should end here. So we'll finish with this one. Thank you very much for joining. And we'll see you next week again with the next verse, which is 4.4. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thanks.
His Grace Yugal Vilas Das Prabhu Ji ki Jai.
Jai.
Gaurav Bhakta ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhuji, anyone doing the
Yes, I think Kavya or
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Should I begin?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Sir.
Namaste Narasimhaya Praladaladaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha Yato Yami Tato Narasimha Bahir Narasimha Hridaye Narasimha Narasimha Badim Sharanam Prapade Tava Kar Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringa Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol विघ्न विनाशक श्री नरसिम्हादेव भगवान की जय
Jai.
भक्ति शिरोमणि श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
Jai.
Thank you. Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, and thank you everyone for joining tonight. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Yugal Vilas Prabhuji. Very nice class.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kavya and Riva.
हरे कृष्ण
Yeah,
Hare
thank you,
Krishna.
Kavya and Eva. Nice, very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
everyone. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.